So those of you at home, we are going to start in just 1 or 2 minutes, just letting you guys show up and get to the live feed. If you're already here, if you could do us a favor and hit the little share button on the side there. You should be able to see it depending on if you're on your phone or if you're on a computer, just so more people see our content and start to follow us. Again, we'll start off in 1 minute. Make sure you've kind of warmed up just a tiny bit. We're going to shadow box at the beginning to get going anyway. Yeah, make sure you have enough room. Punch and kick, not anything over. Those of you that are with your kids, yeah, we're going to mostly do stuff in the air, so you'll be able to do kind of side by side. You shouldn't need a partner for any of the things that we're doing today in the karate class. So we'll start up in 1 minute. Just finish warming up on your own. Okay, those of you at home, everyone just stand up and let's stand straight. Wherever you are, shins and bow. Raise. Bow to Ishian. Raise. Bow here. Raise. Bow Senpai Christian. Raise. And feet together, hands together. Moxo position. Eyes closed, heels together, hands touching. So you may open your eyes and Nore back to where we started. So stepping back into a fighting stance, both hands up, Hamaite. Yep. And warming yourself by moving around shadow boxing. So if you happen to have a mirror at home, absolutely use that. Being able to see yourself in the mirror and see the techniques that you're throwing and see the little openings and weaknesses that a partner or an opponent might see is incredibly valuable. For those that this is somewhat new for, our fighting stance, the goal for it is that it is both offense and defense available at the same time. And so we need to be light on our feet so that we can move either offensively or defensively. We want to have our hands up by about shoulder or chin height. A little bit higher opens up our body, a little bit lower opens up our head, so we want to be right in the middle. And we want to be slightly sideways here so that we're not as easy a target to hit straight on. You can have a much more straight on stance, but it's a little better for offense and a little bit worse for defense. And so we want to have this kind of slightly bladed to the side stance. Throw all 4 limbs, both arms, both legs. Try to reach out long. Remember, this part of class is much more about getting yourself warmed up. It's not so much about working on your fighting techniques as much. We're going to work on a few kind of kickboxing related techniques later in class. Right now, just get that body moving, get your sweat going, get your heart rate up. $15 more seconds. And yame. On your own, stretch out any way you'd like. Upper body, lower body, whatever you'd like for about 30 seconds. And let's warm up with some basics. Yoi. Right leg forward into right sanchindachi, both hands up. Kamaite. Both fists straight out, right fist pull back. We're punching to the stomach slow and strong with a deep breath. Ready? Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Punching fast. Ready? Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yeah.
Bring it up to the face. Slow and strong again. Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Punching fast. Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Cook. Jump.
Yeah.
Bring the punch down low. Gaidan Suki. Ich with a buki. Last set of slow punches. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. And full speed. Ready? Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Coup. Jump.
Yeah.
Putting all three punches together. Jodan, Chudan, Gaidan. Why not, Senpai Christian, turn and face the front door instead. And take a step forward to the second mark on the floor. Yup, there we are. Good. Sanban Suki, up, middle, down. Ready? Ich. Good. Remember what we do with our basic combinations or our combinations of any kind. If this three-punch combination is new for you, start off by throwing it slowly. And then when and if you do it well, start picking up the speed. If you mess up, slow the next one down. If you throw that one well, speed up the next one until you're throwing it as fast as you can, but staying in control. Ready? Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Cook. And jump. Ki on the third punch.
Yeah.
Very good. We're going to do 10 more sets with a single ki on the third and final punch. Everyone, ich.
Yeah.
Ni.
Yeah.
Sun.
Yeah.
Chi.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Rook.
Yeah.
Sich.
Yeah.
Hatch.
Yeah.
Cook.
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on to throwing our double punch on Moro Teisuki. And so the concept with this technique, again, for students who aren't familiar with this or that it's new for, is that like we wouldn't ever actually hit someone with both fists at the same time for a couple of reasons. Mainly because we need like one arm for offense and one arm for defense often. When we use a chamber, we're kind of using the fact that we have this punch way wound up and that it's worth it to not use it for defense. But for the most part, we would never use both hands. So why do we practice it as a basic technique on Moro Teisuki? The idea is that it's a very different mechanic. When we throw a regular punch, we get to twist into every single one. With a double punch, we can't, right? Because there's no twist involved, it's much more of a muscular technique than it is a momentum technique. So when you pull your arms back, use that to like open up your chest, get your back muscles in behind it, and drive forward. When we go high, let's go a little higher than normal, just to use this as like an opener for our chest and our shoulders. When we go down, a little more towards the floor instead of out in front of you. And so we're using our Moro Teisukis here to still warm ourselves up at the beginning of class. So starting Chudan Moro Teisuki, pull back, double punch. Ready? Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yeah.
Bring it up to the face. Jodan Moro Teisuki. Ready? Ich. Remember, a little higher than would be normal. Not quite to face height, but even a little bit more to open up those shoulders. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yeah.
And now bring both of those fists down low, punching towards the floor. Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yeah.
Once again, we're putting all three together, but this time it's going to be up, down, middle. Up, down, middle. Jodan, Gaidan, Chudan. And same rule applies. If you do the combination well, do it a little faster. If you mess it up, slow it down. Ready? Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hatch. Cook. And Joe, key eye on the third punch.
Yep.
Very nice. Last technique we're going to do from this stance is our Awazi-suki. So Awazi-suki is another double punch, but now instead of being two parallel punches to one height, it's one punch to the middle and one punch to the face. So everyone take your left hand and go about body height, but turned over into an uppercut. And then right hand up high towards the face. Right hand should look basically like Jodan-suki or normal stomach punch. When you pull back to a double chamber just like your Morote-suki, the double punch we just did, and then bring both punches out, one hand higher, one lower. Try not to like lean before you punch. Your body shouldn't even have to lean all that much for any of it. All right, right hand up, left hand down. We're gonna switch. Ready? Ich. Ni. Same thing. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yep.
Good. We're gonna do the same technique, but 3 times. Ready? Ich. 1, 2, 3. Again. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yep.
Good. So everyone in the Facebook world, let's take a moment to look over this way and notice that Senpai Adri is walking in super late somehow to a class, even though we're in quarantine. He somehow managed to be late to class anyway. So he's going to go through and get changed and jump into the second half of class. I assume he was single-handedly fighting the coronavirus somewhere. That's why he couldn't make it. All right. That by Christian, right leg pulls back. No, right. Okay. So everyone at home, join with this. Down on your stomach into a push-up position. So when I say go in a moment, you're going to go 30 seconds. Not yet. And as we always do, you have 30 seconds to do any style of push-up or upper body exercise that after 30 seconds you're going to feel. So on your own, begin. It can be regular push-ups. It can be push-ups on your knuckles. It can be push-ups on your hands. It can be anything you'd like. I don't recommend a plank. Sometimes people like to replace a plank in here. That's an abdominal exercise, really. We can save that for the second set, which we'll get to in a moment. Any style of push-up. You could hold like the up position of a push-up if it's wide, if it's difficult. But the main goal is that after 30 seconds, that you feel as though you did something. You don't just feel as though, oh, I went through, the moment I got through it, I want to get something out of it. And down. Over onto your back in any style of abdominal exercise. Crunches, sit-ups, leg raises, V-sit, just to hold it. Here you could do it and begin. 30 seconds. This one you absolutely can do a static exercise, a V-sit. If you want to stand in your belly and do a plank, that's also fine. And now as you're finishing this part of the exercise, I want you to think about a stretch you would like to do. Any stretch that will actually gain you some capacity. Hamstrings, hips, upper body, anything you'd like. But the goal is that it actually gains you some flexibility. And down. And stretch on your own 30 more seconds. Everyone, if you look back here in the mirror, you can see Senpai Adri sitting on his knees, ready to come on the floor. Senpai Adri, stand on up. Okay, come on out. So stretch out. Okay. Stay just 6 feet away. Senpai Christian. Okay. So what we're going to move on to, just to kind of have your mind ready, is we're going to move on to some more modern kickboxing style punches. So traditional karate punches and modern kickboxing punches are different. The structure of your hand and the punch itself are very similar, but the stance, the chamber or lack thereof, all of that varies much more when you have a modern technique. And this makes sense. You'll hear people, traditional martial artists, say that it was kind of the best is the way it always was. That doesn't really make sense. Everything gets better with modernization. And the further that the combat sports go forward, the more they're going to evolve and get better with time and all of that. So when it comes to actually pragmatic, using the punches against a person, of course they're going to improve with time. So gentlemen, stand up. Let's actually face the red wall now. And each of you has your mark on the floor. Good. And yoi. Right leg back, picking up a fighting stance. And kamaite.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So notice the stance they're in. It's not a traditional stance, but it's our modern kickboxing sparring stance, same as we did at the beginning of class with shadowboxing. And the first thing we want to do is everyone just start shifting your weight back and forth. Good. We're going to start off with our very basic jab. The goal of a jab is that it's fast, it's light, it reaches out long, all the way a full extension of our arm. And the goal is to set up our more powerful techniques. Our big right hand, our kicks, everything follows behind that initial jab. You'll often hear in boxing about lead with the jab, lead with the jab. It's a very important concept because that jab, if you can touch them with your jab, you can hit them with the big punch. If you can touch them with the jab, you can hit them with the big kick. So starting off with our simple left jab, you can either aim to head height, to sternum height, or a little lower, but pick a spot and aim there every time. On the count. Ready? Ich. Left jab. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yeah.
We're going to follow the jab with our right cross. This is one of our more powerful punches. And the goal is that this throwing of the jab leads into the power of the right hand. Ready? Ich. 1, 2. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump. Very nice. One note that you'll see these two gentlemen doing so well is that they're throwing the right hand with their whole body behind it. So, especially for those of you that this is new for, watch here. The idea is like we don't want to throw our right hand across our body without moving our body. This would be a bad way to do it. Right, throw the jab and the right hand just comes across. The right way to do it is to push off the floor with this right foot, so that our right hip comes forward, our right shoulder comes forward, and then by the end of the punch, our right punch comes forward. So you'll notice again when these guys are doing it on their count, that that right foot is turning to face the target, right knee is turning, the hip is turning, everything is coming behind the punch. If you want a nice analogy, think about if you were throwing a ball, what would be the follow-through motion to the rest of your body? Same thing here, but with a punch instead. Jab, cross. Let's do another 10. Those at home, try to add that right leg if you weren't already. Ready? Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch. Go. Jump.
Yeah.
Everyone switch your feet. So, those of you at home, if you are naturally right-handed, just like throwing a ball, you would have your right hand back. If you're naturally left-handed, you'd be in this stance with your left hand back. Let's, Senpai, Andrew, move a tiny bit forward and Christian a tiny bit back.
Yeah.
There we go, perfect, because otherwise you're overlapping a little. All right, right jab now. Snapping that right hand long and fast. Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch. Ko. Jump.
Yeah.
We're following now with that big left hand. So right jab, left cross. Ready? Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch. Ko. Jump.
Yeah.
So we're now going to move on. Everyone switch back to left foot in front. We're going to move on to a punch that many people find quite challenging, but when you do it well, it can be incredibly potent, and it's our uppercut. It's our uppercut. So many people, when they first start to throw this punch, they throw whatever punches we throw before it, and then it's all bicep. It's just throwing this arm, and notice how my arm is moving like it's entirely disconnected from my body. That's not what I want to do here. I want it to be that my body is driving into it. You know, Street Fighter fans from back in the day, you know, Ryu and Ken, like that version of it, right? It's obviously ridiculous and exaggerated, but the idea is not entirely wrong. That if you were to really throw this like you mean it, like you'd launch yourself off the ground. You shouldn't launch yourself off the ground on any of these reps. But jab, cross like we did, notice what that does. It loads you up on your front leg, ready to push off, and that's where this punch is going to generate power from. Everyone look at my front leg if you can see it on the camera. It's turning so that I'm pushing up off of it to throw the uppercut. I'm exaggerating the motion here so you can see the idea, but that's what we want to get out of our legs. 1, 2, twist and pop up with that left uppercut. So again, a challenging punch for people at the beginning, but let's give it a try. Try not to let your hand come away from your body because that means you're using your bicep. 1, 2, pop up. Ready? And left, right, left uppercut. Ich. 1, 2. Left uppercut. Knee. Very nice. Sun. Cheat. Use your legs. Use your legs. Go. Root. Sich. Hatch. Very nice. Coat. Joke.
Yeah.
Everyone switch your feet.
Was.
So now same concept, right jab, left cross, right uppercut. Again, use that leg. Lean into that left cross so that we can rip up with that right uppercut. Ready? Ich. Knee. Sun. Cheat. Go. Root. Sich. Hatch. Coat. Joke.
Yeah.
Very nice. Both of you nare for a moment. Let's catch your breath a little bit. So now what we're going to do, so anytime you could have used a right hand at the end of a combination, you can also use a right leg. Most of the situations where you could have used a left hand, you can use a left leg. So we just went jab, cross, and then left uppercut. So we're now going to go jab, right hand, and then we're going to lean back and snap a low roundhouse kick. We could go high with this technique as well, but the idea here, 1, 2, is that as we push off this leg, it lightens up the leg enough to snap the kick. We can often follow with a back leg as well here, but that one we've done a bunch of times before, so we're doing a little different. So jab, cross, lean back, and then snap, in this case, a low roundhouse kick. For those of you, if your legs aren't entirely warmed up yet, start off with a low one, we'll go high in a minute. So 1, 2, lean back, snap to the front leg with your front leg roundhouse kick. All right, jump into plank stance again. Left, right, left leg. Ready? Ich. Knee. Sun. Cheat. Go. Let's try to point the toes on this one. Rip. Sich. Hatch. Coat. Jukiai.
Yeah.
Switch your feet.
Was.
Right, left, right leg. Now, for those of you at home, or for Adri and Christian here, if you want to throw that right leg higher, because you might be more warmed up, feel free. If that leg is not warmed up and you feel like you might pull a muscle, don't. Keep it as a low kick. But if you want to throw it as a high kick, do that now. Ready? Ich. 1, 2. Lean back and throw. Very good. Knee. Unsurprisingly, both of these guys decide to throw high. Sun. 1, 2, 3. Cheat. Go. Root. Sich. Hatch. Go. And jump.
Yeah.
Very good. Front leg pulls back. Nare.
Was.
Very good. Both these guys and everyone at home, start walking your feet apart. Christian, why don't you move a bit towards me, just so we both have room for it, and also, yep, there we go, in the camera well. And now everyone start walking your feet apart. The goal is not to necessarily work on a full split, although you can. The goal here is to work more on our forward fold. So I want you to imagine, actually let's do it this way. Senpai Adri, sit all the way down with an open stance with your legs. Right. Christian, stay where you are unless, is this on the knee? Okay. So the idea is this, the stretch that Adri is in, Christian is simply trying to do the same stretch here. So Christian, come up a little higher. Don't be so low. Good. And now fold forward more. Right. So the goal for Christian is really to start getting his head like between his feet. Right. So basically, if Adri had someone pushing from behind or had someone pulling his hands, then that would help him get lower to the floor. Christian's doing the same thing, but gravity's doing it for him. So this is a great way to kind of do this stretch by yourself. Often when you're on the floor by yourself, like Senpai Adri is, pushing yourself forward towards the ground is a little bit hard, especially if it's you're still a little limited in this stretch. And so the way Christian is right now, gravity will help do a lot of the work. If you're already relatively flexible, you can just drop your chest to the ground. Great, good for you. I'm not there yet either. Then you usually don't need the help, but otherwise. Okay, so let's switch roles. So Christian, have a seat. Adri, stand on up and go into that same stretch, but from standing. And now the key for Adri is to fold forward. Christian now is working like closer to his full split from here. Of course, like if you're doing the stretch that Senpai Adri is doing, you could do this as a split also where you're working on opening the feet, but it's a slightly different spot. You'll feel it in a different part of your hip as you work the forward fold than if you work the split. with this, we want to be slow and controlled. And I want you to feel the muscles as they work. Feel the stretch. I believe this is the most important part of any strength and conditioning, is to feel the work that you're doing. And in this case, feeling what muscles we're going for to get more flexible. 30 more seconds, and then we'll move on. And take your time, bring your feet back together, and stand back up. And now let's have the two of you just switch positions with each other, just so kind of both of you get front camera time periodically. And yoy. All right, so we're going to step back. If you're in a space that's relatively limited, I'll give you an adjustment in a second. But everyone step your right leg back into Kibadachi, left Gate Ambarai. So we're going back into our horseback riding stance, Gate Ambarai. And Kamaite. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. So notice how they're in Kibadachi, they're in this horseback riding stance, but they're looking over their left leg, their front leg. We're going to step forward in Kibadachi. In our case, it's towards our red wall. You guys are doing it wherever. If you are in very limited space, right, you've only got this small area to work with, then what you're going to do instead, so these guys are going to step all the way forward and then turn into Kibadachi. What you'll do at home is, if you don't have enough room, is you do a half step. So you'll step forward halfway and then step back halfway, and you're in the other Kibadachi, but you haven't really covered much ground. And then the next step, half step forward, half step back. And again, you end up basically where you started. So that's if you're in a very limited space. If you've got, about 10 feet, which is what you need to do this the whole way, then just do full steps. We're stepping forward, Junsuki, our side punch. Ready? Ich. Yes. Ni. Good. And now I'm going to ask these two guys, because they're going to go off camera, do the same thing I told you guys to do at home. So they're going to do a half step, so they end up basically where they are. And Sun.
Yeah.
Exactly. When we mate, all you're going to do is Gate Ambarai with your other hand. Mate. Good. Stepping forward. Ich. Ni. And now they're having the same issue you may be having at home, running out of space, so they'll do a half version. And Sun.
Yeah.
Very good. Mate, Gate Ambarai behind you. We're going to add a hammer fist to the end of the punch. So it's going to be Junsuki and then Tetsui Uchi Uchi. Watch Senpai Adri, he'll demonstrate, and go ahead, Ich, just Adri. 1 and 2. Now turn your attention to Senpai Christian. He's going to join with the same one, Ich. 1 and 2. Good. Everyone join us. It is a punch and then a hammer fist. Try to make sure that for both the people out here and also the ones at home, that the hammer fist you're hitting with the edge of the fist, not the knuckles. The punch you're hitting with the knuckles. Everyone, neat. Good. Half step if you need it. Sun. Ki on the hammer. Yeah. Mate, just block. Same thing. Ich. Neat. Very nice. Sun.
Yeah.
One of the points of these combinations is that we don't want our fists to just do the same thing over and over. So if I punch and then I hammer and it's like they're almost indistinguishable, we want to punch with the knuckles. Set your hands up, hit with the hammer fist, the edge of the fist here. When we get a little further into longer combinations like the Yunjigoto, this becomes a much bigger deal of the techniques themselves looking discrete or distinct from each other. Mate, just block. Adding a second hammer fist. So it will be punch in front, hammer fist behind, hammer fist in front. Ich. Punch in front, hammer behind, hammer in front. Neat, same thing. 3 techniques now. And Sun.
Yeah.
Mate. Good. Ich. Neat. And Sun.
Yeah.
Good. Mate. So now we're going to do something slightly different and slightly more advanced. For the moment here, both of you switch your feet, because it'll be a lot clearer on camera if we step forward with the other leg. Okay, so we're now going to throw 3 Junsukis, 3 of these side punches. Watch Senpai Adri. He's going to step in and punch. Ich. He's then going to swing the hand the other way, punch in that direction. Swing the hand the other way, and punch in that direction. The key to this technique is to not get confused into the idea that like you're thinking about the swing while you're doing the punch. Do a punch, then swing and set up the next punch, and then do the second punch, and then swing and set up, do the third punch. Keep them separate. Just stay in that with that leg in front, Adri, and slide back. Back, 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 back. Okay, Christian is going to demonstrate. And go. He punches. He swings. He punches. He swings. He punches. Okay, both of them are going to go together. And neat. Good. Again, neat. No ki yet. We'll do a third one in that right leg. Sun, you can do a half step if you need.
Yeah.
Mate, we're still just blocking. Ich. 1, 2, 3. Neat. Take your time. Sun, don't rush the technique and trip yourself up.
Yeah.
Mate. Okay, we're adding a hammer fist. So we won't demonstrate it. It's similar to before, but we're doing 3 punches, 1 hammer fist. Ich. Neat. And sun.
Yeah.
Mate, just block. 4 moves. Ich, 3 punches, 1 hammer. Neat. Sun.
Yeah.
Mate. Final version of this combination, 3 punches, 2 hammer fists. So we're combining the 2 different things that we just did. Punch, 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 hammer fist behind you, hammer fist in front. Ich. Neat. And sun, half step if you need.
Yeah.
Mate, last set of 3, but to go there, we're now going to open up our hands. So what was Junsuki, what was the side punch, is now Junnukite, which means a spear hand thrown to the side. What was Tetsui Uchi-Uchi is now Shuto Uchi-Uchi. Ready, open hands. Ich, Nukite, Shuto. Shuto behind, Shuto in front. Yep, still 5. Ready, neat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sun.
Yeah.
Very good. When we mate, it's get umbarai with an open hand. Mate. Our back leg is going to step forward and nore. Very good. Everyone, once again, down on your stomach. 30 seconds. Don't need an explanation this time. Begin. Go. 30 seconds. Any style you'd like. Regular push-ups, open-handed push-ups, knife edge, anything you'd like. Right now, start thinking about what abdominal exercise you're going to do, because I'm going to say down and turn over, and right away you're going to start. Be ready. And down. Over onto your back. 30 seconds. Any style of abdominal exercise you'd like. Begin. So what we're going to do today for kata is I'm going to have these guys do 1 or 2 lower belt katas and down. Good. Stretch out on your own 30 seconds. Everyone at home, same thing. Just listen. So I'm going to have the seniors here do a couple of katas. And then I'm going to have them do some katas of their own rank, right? They get the nice advantage of helping us out here and therefore getting to actually work on some senior katas as well. So let's say I do a 1st degree black belt kata. Most of you watching won't know that kata. Some of you will. Most of you won't. Feel free to follow along. If you want to do a black belt kata, cool, here's your chance. I imagine many of you will want to follow along. I'm not going to slow it down for explanation though, because it's a black belt kata. I'll keep that for the lower belt katas. Or let's say you are a yellow belt or a green belt. Feel free at that moment to use my counting for their kata for your kata. So if you're a green belt and you want to work on Pinan 4, great. While they're doing some black belt kata, you're doing Pinan 4 and you can follow my count. When we get to those katas, I'll make the counts nice and smooth and slow so it'll match whatever kata that you're doing. All right. 2 guys stand on up. Facing the red wall again. And yo. So for this first kata, or first couple of katas, everyone join along with whatever rank you are. Taikyoku kata number 1. Why don't both of you take 1 big step back so we don't have to half step in the middle. And once again, yoi. The simpler the kata, the more I want you paying attention to the basics. Taikyoku number 1 only has a single stance. It only has 2 techniques. So those 2 techniques, Gedanbarai and Shudan Suki, should be sharp. There's nothing else going on. Your Zenkutsudachi should look impeccable. Ready? Ich. Be picky with yourself. This is an art form. Ni. Treat it like one. Sun. Chi. Excellent. Go. Rup. Sich. Hatch.
Yeah.
Back leg is going to turn to your right. Coup. For these guys, it's coming towards me. For you guys, it's whatever, I don't know, towards your kitchen. Toward where the cat's sitting right now. I don't know. Juke. Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup.
Yeah.
Back leg turn. Sich. Hatch. Coup. Juke.
Yeah.
Nore. Come back. Very nice. Adjust your position.
Push.
You guys can be back a little further. Just so you're more. Yeah. Once again, Yoi.
Push.
Pinan kata number 1.
Push.
Those of you that are advanced blue belts and higher, this is a kata within your rank. Those of you that are blue belts and white belts, follow along. It's not a big leap beyond Taikyoku number 1. Ready? Ich. Gedanbarai. Step in, stomach punch. Ni. So for those of you that this kata is new for, there's a regular block and then a somewhat fancy technique. Sun, they block and then they pull all the way back. Tetsui Gamanuchi. It's exactly like Shuto Gamanuchi, but with a closed fist. Chi. Gedanbarai down the middle, just like Taikyoku. Go. And now it's upper blocks. Ruk. Shodan Uke. Sich. One more of those. Hatch.
Yeah.
The next 8 moves are all exactly Taikyoku number 1. Lower blocks, stomach punches. Coup. Juke. Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Stomach punches still. Go. Rup.
Yeah.
Back leg turn. Just like Taikyoku, but now we do our back stance, Kokutsudachi, and we do our big circular knife hand block, Shuto Mawashi Uke. Sich. Same thing on the diagonal. Hatch. Turn. Coup. On the diagonal. Juke.
Yeah.
Very nice. Front leg pulls back. All right. Excellent. Let's move apart a little bit.
Push.
I just want to take a moment to note something because I happen to be standing here behind the camera, being able to see who's joining us here on Facebook Live. There's 2 people that are watching right now. One is a friend of mine down, I think, in North Carolina, Michael Baez, and another is Laura Carrasco, who both of the 2 trained with me when I was a teenager back in the original Sekishian Oliver dojo. And here we are, with this technology allowing them to like jump in and watch or maybe even participate here in a class. Here we are, 25 years later. So I thought that's just worth mentioning. They're both there on my screen saying that they're watching. Hopefully they're joining us. All right. Kenshikai kata number 1.
Push.
This would be a kata that in fact the 2 of them would be less familiar with.
Push. I gotta check something with you.
Go, go, go. Sent by Adri, sent by Christian. Take a big step to your right. And ich. So Kenshikai katas are similar to our Seido katas for those that trained in Seido karate, where it's a T shape instead of an I shape. We go to the left, we go to the right, we then go down the middle, and then back up the middle. So stepping in stomach punch. Ni. Turn the other way, same thing. Sun. Chi. Down the middle. Go. Double punch down. Rup. So think the punches we practiced earlier in class. Sich. Slide back a little bit, senpai. And hatch.
Yeah.
We're stepping straight back. No turning, but retreating. Stepping back, middle, inside block. Chudan uchi-uke. Coup. Outside block. Juke. Lower block. Ich. Watch behind you. Good. To the left, we're doing the same upper block at the beginning, but we're adding a reverse punch. Ni. 1, 2, and now 2 punches, face and stomach. Sun. Chi. And go. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Very good. And Nore. Good. Good. Move a little to your left, Senpai Christian. Senpai Adri, jump back in. I heard Senpai Adri's Tinder going off. And he had to run off and check that because he might be going to some party tonight or something. I'm joking. Senpai Adri and Senpai Christian have both done a fantastic job of practicing social distancing just like the rest of us. In fact, Adri, move a little to your right. Yeah, so you don't get whatever Christian has. Don't give him whatever you got. Okay. So we did the beginning, the very first kata, the white belt kata, taiko number 1. We did Pinan 1, which is the very first Pinan kata, right? We did Kenshikai 1, which is the very first Kenshikai kata. These are different families of katas. And finally, we're going to do our first Mokuso kata, which you don't learn technically until advanced yellow belt, but I like introducing it even at the white and blue belt level because it's the beginning of this one family. So feet together, hands together, like to be in a class Mokuso position. All of our Mokuso katas go this way. So what I'd like you to pay the most attention to, especially if you're advanced yellow and higher, is your breath. Nice long breaths. Just note when, we do a buki, meaning the noisy exhaling. I don't care about that. You don't need to do that. What you do need to do is match your breathing to your movements. Yoi. Sanchin kata. Right leg forward, Sanchin dachi like the beginning of class. Ich. Both hands up. Right leg in front. Okay. Your left hand will punch and then return to this position. Your feet don't move. Ni. Pull back. Good. So when you're pulling your hand back, you're breathing in. When you're pushing your punch out, you're breathing out. When you're stepping, you're breathing in and you're pulling your hand back. When we're turning, we'll get there when we get there. You're now going to step, punch, recover. Sun, step, punch, recover back to both fists. On our third step, we're going to punch underneath our other elbow. Sun, step, left hand punching under right elbow. Okay. We're turning. We turn in Sanchin kata differently than others. Your right foot's going to go laterally across. Go. Twist your feet. Left hand comes up fast. Right hand punch. Right hand recover. So, if this kata is above your rank and that I lost you a little bit there, let's just all get on the same page. Left leg should be in front. Sanchin dachi, 1 step in front of your right. Both hands should be up. If you didn't get the rest of it exactly right, don't worry about that now. Stepping in right leg, left hand punching under right elbow. Go. Good. We're turning just like before. I'm going to ask these 2 guys to do it a bit slower so you guys at home can copy. Go. They step. They turn. The left hand comes up. And then the right hand punches and joins it back in that starting position. Good. So once again, if you lost us, left foot in front, both hands up. Okay. Step and punch. Go. Step with the right. Punch with the left. Now don't move your feet. Punch with your right hand. Go. Punch with your left hand. Go. All right. We'll break this into 2 pieces. Both hands out, knuckles to knuckles. Go. Freeze right there. Good. So this is all 1 count, but we're breaking it into 2. Now pull both hands back to a hard chamber. Go. And now stab out both hands slow. Good. Good. Second one, we're just going to do the pull and freeze. Go. Pull and freeze. And then stab. Go. And then the third and final one, we're going to do it all together. And go. Very good. Here's the one technique of the kata that's probably going to be over the heads of people that are lower in rank who have never done it before. Shuto Enke Uke. Stepping back. Just copy what you see. I'm not going to over-explain it. Go. Big circular motion. And actually, yeah, this is a good idea. We're going to do one more. Senpai Adri is going to do it in slow motion. Senpai Christian is going to do it at full speed. So if you're experienced with this technique, go at the speed of Senpai Christian. If this is new for you, try to mimic Senpai Adri. And go. Yeah, very good. Rook, return. Right leg steps off, Nore. Very good. Shake it out, stretch out on your own. So we just did 4 katas. That was the beginning, the most basic kata of each one of the families of katas. That technique we just did, by the way, Shuto and Kyuge, those of you may have already noticed, but if you haven't, we've been putting out, or we're going to start, we just put out, I think, the first one yesterday. We're doing another one today or tomorrow. and we're going to have one going out each one of the weekdays, is these quick concepts. Shion Jennifer has been doing these quick concept karate videos. First one was about just the basic chamber and why we do it the way we do it. Next one will be about kicking chambers. And then we're going to have some other ones coming down the pipe. One of them will be about specific techniques that we don't practice so much as basics. So like Shuto and Kyuke, that final technique that we just did, we almost never practice it by itself. And so some of the quick concept videos are going to be techniques that we don't practice very much and breaking them down. So even advanced students are going to get a lot out of that, I think. And our goal is to put one of those out Monday through Friday, 5 of them each week. And they're very short, only like a minute, 2 each, but should help you guys, give you something. And then we are very possibly going to start doing those for jiu-jitsu techniques as well. Let you know as we go. All right, we're now going to move on to an advanced kata for these guys. If you are of their rank or you know the kata, then follow along with it. If you are not, you also can copy it, but you can also fill this in with one of your own katas of your own rank. All right. Gentlemen here, Mokuso. Geisai Sho. If you're a green belt out there, Geisai Dai is a perfectly reasonable substitute, or any other 20-move kata. Ready, yoi. Starts for these guys, and for anyone at home copying it, like Pinan 5, inside block, reverse punch. Ich. Step in, upper block, same hand, reverse punch, stomach. Ni. Stepping back, gate on barai. Sun. Same thing in the other direction. Chi. Go. Step back, gate on barai. Ru. Stepping forward, kibidachi. Ru. 2 more of those. Sit. Good. Ku. Big circular motion, and then shoot down. Why don't you both slide back a little bit to stay on frame. Front snap kick, upper block, reverse punch. Ju. 1, 2. Very good. Right hand inside block, right hand lower block. Go. Good. Half Shuto Mawashi behind you. Ich. Side kick with back fist. Ni. Sun. Chi. Very good. Front snap kick into hook stance kake dachi with, excuse me, with a double punch. Go.
Yeah.
Over the top, half Shuto again. Go. Good. Pull and stab. Watch behind you. Go. Big circular motion. Go. And Ju. Recover. All right. Okay, so now we're going to do kind of, karateka's choice. Karateka is a term for practitioner of karate. So Senpai Aji and Senpai Krishna are each going to pick whatever kata they would like to do. I'll give them a moment to think about it. You guys at home, again, feel free to copy one of the ones they do. That's fine. I'll be very clear about who's doing what. Or this is your chance to plug in any other kata that you'd like to practice. Senpai Aji, what's your kata?
Seian-chin.
Seian-chin. Okay, so Mokuso. He's going to do Seian-chin, first degree black belt kata. Senpai Christian.
Pinan 2.
Pinan 2. Okay, so Senpai Christian is picking a yellow belt kata, which again, anyone who's yellow belt or higher, feel free to copy that as well. Or someone who's a blue belt and lower who's been wanting to do Pinan 2 for a while. Usually it is a kind of desirable one. If you want to do Seian-chin, which is the Shodan first degree black belt kata, follow Senpai Adri or your own. Yoi. Ich. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup. Sitch. Hatch.
Yeah.
Good. Senpai, actually, you slide back a good amount. Yeah. Ku. Senpai Christian's going to turn towards me. Senpai Adri's still going forward. Ju.
Yeah.
Ich. Ni. If you're doing a regular 20-move kata, the I-shaped katas, the Pinans, the Taikyokos, then you should be about to do the 13th move, which is turning up the middle. Senpai Christian models that. Pinan 2 fits that mold. Sun. Chi. Go. Rup.
Yeah.
Sitch. Hatch.
Yeah.
Go. Joe.
Yeah.
Hitch. Senpai Adri has 7 more counts. Christian is done. Go.
Yeah.
Hitch. Knee. Sun.
Yeah.
Go. Rook. Both of you. Nare. Very good. Turn. Shinzen back. It's good. Face here. Let's go over to the mark. Senpai. Christian, sorry, wait. Senpai, come over here. Senpai, you guys go. Everybody, Shinzen bao. Face here. Senpai Adri. Senpai Christian. Feet together, hands together, and Moxo. Close your eyes. So and no. Once again, Shinzen bao. Do you guys have a seat for a second? You can slide back a bit. Slide back a bit. So good. Okay, so for people at home, one thing I'd like to mention that I think it's an important thing during your regular training, but it's certainly an important thing during this period that we're having right now, is that you don't realize how much of a creature of habit you are, how much you have built a pattern of the way that you train and how important it is to your life until it starts to disappear, until your patterns change and you start coming back. And so, I've been very lucky that I've had a couple of injuries over the years, but for the most part, over the last, we're closing in on 30 years of training, that I haven't had to take any real time off. Again, a few injuries here and there. I had a surgery on my hip a couple of years ago and I had to take some time, but I never needed to take 6 months off. I never needed to take even probably a couple of months at any point. And that was just pure luck. I can't take credit for that fact that happened, but I do know that it made it so much easier to have that whole length of time. And that it's usually people who have to take some time off for life or an injury, or they get sick, or they have financial issues, or their life just changes and they're not able to train. And what happens is that they're perfectly planning on coming back. The moment they have to quit, their plan is, I'm coming back at this time. And then things change, the habit changes, the patterns change, and more importantly, you don't quite remember what it felt like. You do intellectually, but you don't feel it. You don't remember the feeling of throwing that punch or sparring, or in case of jiu-jitsu students, that feeling of putting a technique in. And so you remember it intellectually, and you're I need to get back to that, but it doesn't feel as primal as it does when you're in the middle of training. And so realize that, right now, many of us, myself included, are forced to not train almost at all, or not the way we used to, even a little bit. And so you'll remember in your mind, I can't wait to get back to karate, I can't wait to get back to jiu-jitsu. But when the opportunity comes up, do it, jump right back in, do your very best. Even, and for those of you out there that, we're gonna have a lot of financial issues happening, right? Talk to us, right? I'd rather, if nothing else, get you back on the floor when we get rolling again and figure out the money side, after the fact, get you training, reminding you how much it means to you, how important it is, then get bogged down with some of these other life details that are definitely big ones and are gonna get in the way, but you gotta get the momentum back. Losing momentum is by far the easiest way to ultimately quit, and keeping momentum is what makes people able to do it, as I said, for 30 years, or in the case of these two guys, basically 20 and 10 years respectively. And so that's how you're able to put in all of this time. It's hard to be disciplined. It's easy if it's just what you do day in, day out. All of us are forced to change right now. Do your best when it's your chance to get right back on the floor. Boys, thank you guys. Yeah. Don't say anything inappropriate. I haven't hit stop yet. Hot mic.
He's just about to tell you.